Okay. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah. Allahumma shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wa hlul 'uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. So today, inshallah, we're going to be doing something a little bit different with CES. I know you guys are used to having speakers up here and giving presentations. But today, inshallah, what we want to do is we want to kind of flip the script a little bit and get your feedback on a very important topic that I'm sure you all are tracking, and that's Ramadan. Ramadan is, what, less than a month and a half away. And at MCC, as you all may know, Ramadan really is a time where the masjid really comes to life. And so we try to improve every year on trying to make this place as accommodating with the programming and the facility as possible for the congregants and people that come, inshallah. So as part of that planning for upcoming Ramadan, we want to solicit your feedback and get your recommendations on how you all think we can improve on the experience here at MCC. And so with that, we're going to basically be facilitating some questions, going to be asking some questions, and we really want you all to be as, inshallah, as interactive as you can, and so that we can, inshallah, take notes and then take it back to the planning committees and make sure we implement them. So we do have the live stream going on as well, so there might be people on YouTube who are following. And if you have any questions, feedback, recommendations in your virtual, please do leave a comment, and we have somebody monitoring the chats, and they'll bring it to our attention, and inshallah we'll try to address them. Bidnillahi ta'ala. I think with that, I will pass it along to Sister Maryam, who will kick us off, inshallah, with the questions.
Does that work?
Should I use this one? Yes. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you? Alhamdulillah. So, inshallah, today we'll try to begin with, basically our topic today is to have a town hall. And Brother Abdullah and myself, we are representatives from the board of directors. And really what we wanted to do was two things. Gather your feedback on how we can make our Ramadan experience better, because we're always looking to improve at MCC, improve what we're doing, how we're offering it, but also improve our overall engagement with our community. And one of the things is, working on how we're doing our planning, but also making sure that we're engaging more of our community, involving you guys in the process. You know, there's sometimes always people that want to find a way to help, and there's plenty to be helped on, or plenty to work on here at MCC. So this is really an effort that we're trying to, get to know you guys more, engage with you, and really, take Ramadan to the next step here at MCC. So we can do this two ways, and I wasn't expecting this level of turnout, but it would have been nicer if we had sort of a round circle and just discuss things together. But I am one of the sisters that are on the board, and one of the main things that we wanted to make sure we not only got feedback from generally, but ensuring that our families are engaged, and sisters, the experience for the sisters is really thought through, as well as the brothers, inshallah. So I have a list of questions, but and we can go through them if that's agreeable. Otherwise, we can also open up the floor and just have an open discussion, because I know at MCC one of the things that we really like to do is just be open about how we feel, our experiences, and things like that. So what does everybody think? Questions? Okay, alhamdulillah. Bismillah. So generally, I have some questions that I'd like to ask you guys. So what do you feel has worked well at MCC for the past Ramadan programs? And should we have the mic go around while we're doing this? Okay. So anything that comes to mind about what's worked well for our Ramadan programming that you'd like to see continue as we put together things for upcoming Ramadan, inshallah? All right, Sister Khadi.
Yes, then.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa
Welcome,
barakatuh.
everyone. I think one thing that goes well is the iftars that we do.
Oh, sorry.
Can everyone hear me? Assalamu alaikum. So the iftars that we do,
Allahu Akbar.
Can you just repeat it?
Yeah, so for some reason that mic gave out, but Sister Khadi mentioned, and another part, if you don't mind sharing your name so we can get to know one another, inshallah. So Sister Khadi mentioned the iftar programs, right, Sister Khadi? That's one of the biggest things that have worked well, alhamdulillah. Okay. Anything else that we should take note of?
Sami Allahu liman hamid.
Okay. And feel free online if you'd like to chime in. I think I can see the chat here. So, are there any areas where you think MCC could improve during Ramadan? And I'll walk around with this mic, or if you'd like to come and stand here, inshallah. Any areas of improvement? Anything like any new activities or programs that you'd like to see during Ramadan, inshallah? Yes.
Yeah, no problem. I was just going to say, in terms of areas of improvement for parents, having some kind of assistance for younger children, whether it's a designated area. I think the main hall was listed as that area last year, but I didn't see it consistently used for that purpose or set up for that purpose, or babysitting on certain nights or something of that nature.
Jazakallah khair. Thank you for that suggestion. As Ramadan starts creeping into the winter months, space is a challenge that we are trying to work through. If anyone has ideas about how we can use flex spaces, I know we often use for iftar, we have iftars in the main hall and then have overflow space for the sisters sometimes in here. Try to use the libraries, but definitely we'll think through that. One thing that we're trying to work on is more, not just childcare, but actual programming for the children so that they can engage in those activities, structured activities, while the parents are perhaps praying during Tarawih. So that is something that we have a sister working on. If anyone's interested in supporting those efforts, please do reach out. But noted, family flex space is an area that we need to work on. So anything else in terms of anything we can improve, any new programs that you have any ideas about? Oh, do we have something from online?
Yeah, we have something online from Abdul Aziz Ahmed. The Imam's khatiras related to what's being recited that night during Tarawih is a huge highlight for me.
So Imam speaking about the ayat that he's reciting during Salah. Okay, alhamdulillah, yeah. Yes, sister. Okay. I think the mic is working now, alhamdulillah.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum
My
salam.
name is Kofo, so I'm new here. I wasn't here the previous year, so I'm just curious about maybe tafsir, like Quran, being able to recite the Quran together with the community that would be like a good thing.
Yeah, so to my knowledge, and anyone else, if you have any other information that you can add on, please do chime in. To my knowledge, we have our imam here on Sundays in the morning, actually right before this session, who is our main religious scholar at MCC, and he offers a tafsir class weekly, on a weekly basis. Specific to Ramadan, I don't believe we have any structured programming centered around tafsir aside from that class. However, the idea of a Quran circle was something that was proposed previously, and a lot of people really wanted that idea to come to fruition. Inshallah, we'll take note of that. If that's something that you're interested in, or if you know of anyone that might be able to support organizing those efforts, please do let us know. But that is an idea that I think a lot of people were keen on, having at MCC. So, inshallah, we'll take note of that. Anything else? I will do this. How can we at MCC make Ramadan more engaging for everyone in our community? And engaging in the sense that, alhamdulillah, MCC is one of the most diverse communities. I'll say that not only like from an ethnic perspective, but also from like the different levels of practice in our deen that we have, and we're very welcoming and open to having everyone come here and feel inclusive and a part of the MCC community. But we want to make sure we're engaging at all levels and making sure that there's something for everyone. So if anyone has any advice to offer about how we can do that, because I know that we have different audiences that come during Ramadan, as opposed to,
for all
for
of those
example,
who are going to join us
on Sundays
in the,
or for the Fajr. I mean, we have
trip to the
micro-communities,
cemetery,
mashallah, at MCC.
you could join us also in
so
combining the Asr prayer.
If you have any
with the
ideas
Dhuhr,
about how to be
inshallah.
more engaging with
But
our
those who are
community,
not,
please do let us know
They're not, allowed
how
to
we
combine the two
can
prayers.
work on that outreach.
Assalamu alaikum.
There is another
Yes,
janaza at
Mr. Gilla.
1:30, inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum. I was wondering if there can be any program like for homeless people, because there's a lot of food going around in Ramadan, and this might be a good opportunity to, reach homeless people. I know they have vans that take food out. It's just a thought. And also, not just during Ramadan, but it might be a good way to start to do something like that and something to maintain throughout the year, because hunger is year-round, not just during Ramadan.
That's a great suggestion. I know we have sometimes leftovers after our iftars on a daily basis during Ramadan. So I think one of the things is making sure that we engage with the right homeless shelter or a soup kitchen that can take the food. And if you do have any ideas, please do let us know about how we can do that engagement. But it's something that, inshallah, definitely a good idea. And some of this might be very low-hanging fruit. It's just a matter of making the right connections, right, sister? So.
Already, I've reached out to different shelters, like there's the women's shelter in Rockville, there's Stepping Stone Shelter in Rockville, there is a Caris House in Baltimore, and they happily take food, and they're very grateful for it. Of course, it has to be, packaged well and not picked over, and, because, everybody wants the food fresh, homeless or not, but there are a number of shelters around, and again, not just during Ramadan, but it might just be a kickstart for us to continue to do that. That's one of the things that we have to teach our children, is to share with homeless people, and I also think that we should be doing some sort of a collection, some coats collection, or blankets, gloves, hats. And again, not just specific to Ramadan, but more to winter, but this could be something to be thinking about. Thanks.
Absolutely. Jazakallah khair, Sister Gila, for those very good suggestions, alhamdulillah. I know we've had clothing drives in the past. At least once a year, I would see, with the Sisters Committee, and alhamdulillah, there's other opportunities that have also opened up that I know of. But inshallah, is the main point that you're trying to convey having them on a more frequent cadence? Okay, gotcha. Yeah. Yeah.
Have so much to give, so much to share.
Yeah, absolutely. Exactly.
Yeah, we have so much to give, so much to share, and I feel like it's something that should be ongoing, but
Yeah.
to start it in Ramadan would maybe set start the mindset. I'm not speaking very well, but you know what I mean.
No, thank you. That's a really good suggestion. Alhamdulillah. I'm trying to take notes as I go, but inshallah. Yeah, we can also go back to the recording, but alhamdulillah. Okay, so those were my general feedback questions. So regarding religious programming now, I'll move to. Are the timings and the duration of Taraweeh prayers convenient for you and your family? So generally speaking, are the timings and the duration of Taraweeh prayers convenient for you and your family? I'm seeing some nods, a few nods, generally. And I see one maybe, okay. That's a good question. Have they finalized the time yet? See, and this is another part of how your feedback can really help and mold some of the decision-making here at MCC is we want to gather, generally speaking, in the past Ramadan, I know this Ramadan, almost halfway into it, we'll have a time change. So that may also affect things. But generally, I think the question is with respect to last year, I guess. Do you think that the prayer times for Taraweeh and the duration, the length of it, was it okay for you as a congregant here at MCC? It was okay? Okay, alhamdulillah. All right.
I think it was okay in the sense that...
And sister, if you could also share your name so we get to know you.
Okay, my name is Yassine. Halfway through Taraweeh, usually we have a break time where we could run away with our kids because they have school the next day, so it was perfectly fine. And the timing was good enough for us to leave quietly or with a lot of noise and then let the other one pray. So it was okay. It was okay, alhamdulillah.
Thank you so much. You said Sister Yassine, right? MashaAllah. Nice to meet you. Yes, brother.
Yeah, sure. I'm Hassan. You mentioned, family obligations and not being able to stay the whole time. I wonder, maybe this is something we're already doing, but is there a live stream for times when you can't join that you could join with your family at home? Because just like the way we're doing now.
Yeah, alhamdulillah. And this year we have the more permanent setup, alhamdulillah. I do believe last year we did have live streaming. So alhamdulillah, the families can also attend and have benefit of listening to the recitation from their own homes, alhamdulillah. Jazakallah khair for that comment, just so that others as well online, that they can also share and benefit from the information. All right. Would you like to see specific Quran reciters or imams during Taraweeh?
Alhamdulillah wa ashhadu an la ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. So we'll bring Brother
I'm not
Saeed
seeing
Muhammad
much
here
in the
now.
room. You guys are okay with the setup? Usually,
And then after that, we'll do the janazah
my
prayer.
understanding of how we have
And
our
then the family will stand up.
imam, we usually have our imam and then a few other huffaz
Bury him in
that
the cemetery,
support the
inshallah.
Taraweeh
So everybody
prayers
here now?
here at MCC. And
Bring him up
I think they are anticipating that same
him up
setup.
here.
But we also just wanted to know if there were
Hold the
any
head.
specific
Hold the head as-
reciters, Quran reciters, or
Please,
imams that you would want to, invite or bring to our community for the benefit of our community. So, if anyone thinks of anything, do let us know, inshallah. Okay, how can we enhance the Ramadan khutbahs or religious talks for the benefit of the community? if anyone has any feedback on that. So I know that Brother Aziz online, he gave a comment about the khatiras that the imam does provide, that they're in sync with the recitation that's going on that day. And he spoke to that it was beneficial. But if there's a way that we can give feedback to those that are coming up with the khatiras, the short talks, so that it could benefit us, just let us know if you have any feedback on that, and we can take it back, inshallah. Because all the planning is going on now, alhamdulillah. All right, so I don't see anything in the room. Is anyone online? Does anyone online have any comments? Okay, nothing so far. All right, bismillah. Should MCC include more educational programs during Ramadan, such as short daily reminders, tafsir sessions, or hadith circles? So the sister, I forgot your name, Kofu. Sister Kofu had mentioned, she asked about if there were tafsir classes specifically for our community during Ramadan. And there wasn't anything specific during Ramadan, but we do have the Sunday sessions. But is that it sounds like that is something that is a benefit. So we'll definitely take that back. But is there anything in terms of educational programming?
By the way, the regular
Hadith circles,
salat here
tafsir
on Sunday is
sessions,
1:30.
daily reminders.
Because there's
that
another
you guys
janaza at 1:30.
think we should start
Just
doing?
for your information.
These were just ideas. Yeah.
You mentioned daily reminders, and I like to use the WhatsApp group, and I think it'd be wonderful, like in Suhoor time, we're usually just, groggy and getting through it. I'd love to have a little something I could share with my kids, like today's lesson or message, or something you could just focus on for that day. I'd love to have, like you said, daily reminder, just something I could share with my kids, like either a Quranic line or a hadith or something.
That's a great idea. Alhamdulillah, we'll take that back. And also the idea for tafsir class specific to Ramadan also. I'll just make sure that we take that back. We can, yeah, that's not out of scope. The idea was to have them on WhatsApp, but we can also share it via email too.
There's a WhatsApp group for the MCC?
Yeah. Alhamdulillah. We'll get you the QR code, inshallah.
You're on it? I'm not on it.
Okay,
How does one get on it?
So there is an MCC WhatsApp group that anyone at MCC can join and get the live updates for. The QR code, can we share it in the chat online as well? And then we have it posted right outside this door, a QR code that you can just scan with your camera, and just get added to it for announcements.
Is that something widely known?
We probably should do better in terms of communicating it. But like, for example, if there's a closure due to the weather, or Jummahs and who the khatibs are, the announcements generally like that come through the WhatsApp, as well as, being sent on the newsletter, so.
Oh, no, I had no idea. So is it just for members, or is it parents of
No,
Sunday
it's
school?
it's open to everyone, yep.
Yeah, so we definitely need to do a better job of marketing the fact that we have a WhatsApp group. But yeah, we have over 1,000 members on it. It's sort of like one-way messaging, so it's not really interactive. But yeah, that's where you'll get like the updates on the salah times, the programmings, that kind of stuff. So actually, I'm going to go find the QR code and bring it here, so whoever's not on it can get on it. And then to your earlier point about, I think it was the brother's point, about the daily reminders. So last year we did something where in the last 10 days we sort of piloted this thing where every day we did like a specific reminder on the last 10 nights. Mm-hmm. So maybe this year, inshallah, I think we have enough time to do research. We'll take that into consideration in terms of doing it for every night, and then we can, because we have other media channels too, like Instagram, Facebook, obviously WhatsApp, and the newsletter, so we can kind of sync all that messaging together and maybe potentially send like one reminder a day or something, inshallah. So we'll take that into consideration.
Yeah, I did forget about the last 10 nights, the reminder that was sent out via email. I think expanding that to the WhatsApp might also be a thing that we can do. And then timing it with Suhoor, that's a perfect time to read up on things. So.
I just wanted to let you know, brother, with Yakim Institute, Umar Suleiman, I think he goes by theme every year, and every day before the sunset, he actually goes through one. So he's actually very good. I tend to just ask my kids to wash them and wash it separately, because when I ask them to do it with me, they don't. And it does work, so.
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. Jazakallah khair for that suggestion, sister. Okay. Oh, yes, please.
We have some contributions from the live stream. Brother Amadou says, bring more imams and hafiz during Ramadan. And then, what else? And the live streaming was great, yes, for the...
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, alhamdulillah.
The brother that sent that comment, if you have any suggestions for Quran reciters specifically, please do drop them in the chat so we can consider that. Yeah. So Jazakallah khair, brother, for that suggestion. Okay. Let's move on to family and youth engagement, okay? So we have some questions here around that. What types of Ramadan activities would benefit children and families the most? Again, what types of Ramadan activities would benefit children and families the most? Sister Khadi, I can give you this one. Oh, okay, yes. Okay. And sister, if you can tell us your name as well so we get to know each other.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Fatima.
Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
So I don't have any specific activity in mind, but since the Sunday school is closed during Ramadan, I think it will be good to have some activities, like some informational document or email or messages to kids on the importance of Ramadan and what they can do during Ramadan.
Yeah. Trying to take some notes here. Alhamdulillah. Jazakallah khair for that suggestion.
So that takes me back to what my the sister over here was saying before, you know, because I came from Atlanta. So during the Ramadan, we have like a Feed the Hungry going on in the morning. So that allows the students to come in and they feed, you know, they pack. People from around, you know, it's usually like 1,000, so they take it to the homeless center. So that is a good activity for them. So that's really good.
Okay, so the program that you're speaking about, they brought in, like, maybe if you can elaborate more just from my understanding, did they bring in people to help generate items or cook, or did they as a group collectively go out to the soup kitchen?
Hello?
Okay.
Okay, so at Al Farouk, so all parents, you know, you bring your food, you know, from different culture, and then over there we designate different areas and we all pack, you know, we engage the children, you know, the adult, the youth, and after being done, so there will be some parents that will lead them and then we'll go to the homeless center.
Okay, so they had food set up at the masjid first.
Yes.
And then they would take it over to the...
So after packing it, after we pack it, so then we'll put it in bags, and then with the drive, go to the centers.
Okay, alhamdulillah. So they would prepare meals at the masjid and then...
Not at the masjid. So each parent, you know, from your house, you prepare, make sure that the food is good, you know, good enough. You know, some restaurants will also bring food, so we all converge at the masjid. So pack it, you know, and after we're done, we'll all, you know, take it to, you know, homeless centers.
Okay, alhamdulillah.
Individually, so we have the takeaway plates. You know, you put fruit, different thing in there, each bag. And usually we pack like 1,000 because there are a lot of parents bringing food. So, and after it's done, some parents will volunteer to, to go. Yeah, and we make sure that the children, the youth, they're in the front, we do it together. So on Sundays during Ramadan, yeah, so on other days, when not during Ramadan, we do every other week.
Okay,
Yeah.
alhamdulillah.
So usually by 9 a.m. everybody's there.
Okay, alhamdulillah.
Yeah.
Great ideas, alhamdulillah. Any other, yes?
Sorry, one contribution here from the chat. Somebody that goes by Seen, like the Arabic alphabet. And I think this is in regards to programming for children. So Jeopardy for children could be helpful, Allahu Alam. They say, or perhaps dates in which we have a day for all the children to all come, activities on Islamic knowledge and Quran, something fun for the children so they can fall in love with the month. That's towards the general programming for the children.
Okay.
Great comment.
Anything else for Jazakallah khair? Was that a brother or sister? Jazakallah khair for that input through the YouTube live chat. Any other ideas for Ramadan activities that would benefit either the children or families? So just so that everyone is aware, we do have a youth group here, and we have a newer committee, the Family Engagement Committee. We also have the Sisters Committee, our Seniors Committee, and all of those committees kind of span the scope of families and youth. But these ideas can go back to them, and we'll also try to work through, what things we can, inshallah, implement. So, next question is, how can MCC make Ramadan more engaging for teens and young adults? So I don't really see teens or young adults here live in the room, because obviously a lot of them are probably upstairs in the school during this time. But if there's any ideas on how to make them feel more engaged, Sister Khadi.
Assalamu alaikum. So I think one thing we could do for the young adults and teens is maybe have programs upstairs in the classrooms. Anything to just get them engaged, because they usually come here and one of the main activities they focus on is playing basketball, right? You can see them playing basketball till midnight. But how can we get them to learn something about Ramadan? Do activity, maybe have a drive for hygiene kits, right? And have them put it together and distribute. Have them do other things where they can feel like they're contributing to the greater good. But it has to be, I think we run into a space issue, as you said, during Ramadan. So how can we use the classes upstairs and even do programs for them? Maybe have, some type of education for them. What is important about Ramadan? A series on hadith. But just get them, maybe for, 2 classes for the girls, 2 for the boys, and tell them, hey, we have something for you. Because I noticed that when we have programs for them on Fridays, they do show up, right? Brother Mamadou, who has a youth group, does really great things. Now, because of the space issue, maybe we can have things for them upstairs. But we want them to be here until we get them their youth center.
Inshallah, Jazakallah khair. Great suggestions. More live? Okay.
I was going to also say that the MYO does their qiyams occasionally on Ramadan. I don't know if they were able to do it last Ramadan, but that's another thing that I think the youth really find engaging and exciting to come, spend one night at the masjid with programming for them all night.
Right. So the youth group does host a qiyam separately for the brothers and also for the sisters annually, alhamdulillah. So that is another program that is offered. There is some YouTube chat. Okay, let's take a look at them.
Okay.
1 second.
Sorry. No, you go.
My question for the teenagers will be, do we start a month in advance for them, because we have to warm them up to it? For the
Right.
adult, we know that, it's Ramadan, you go to it.
Yeah.
But for the kids, are we going to warm them up to it?
Yeah.
Or are we waiting till it's Ramadan for them to go back to it?
That's a great point, sister. you know, subhanAllah, the companions of the Prophet ﷺ used to take the 6 months after Ramadan and make dua that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept their previous Ramadan, and then the 6 months leading to Ramadan, they would start preparing for the next Ramadan. And subhanAllah, we should be in the mindset of, like, how do we take steps now to ensure we have the best of habits as we enter Ramadan, so we can build our endurance and you know, worship Allah to the fullest. But to your point, sister, having programming ahead of time, I know that typically the different committees try to cater to what's coming. And sometimes the youth group will have certain programming geared towards preparing for Ramadan. I don't know of any specifics off the top of my head right now that are scheduled, but it's something that we can look forward to as we're trying to put together the programming to see if we can do some, or at least share them more widely if there are things that are being done in the different micro-communities that we have here at MCC. Inshallah.
Okay, a comment from the chat. I love Tazkiyah Tuesdays for young adults. Something similar is great. A lot of people started going to those, alhamdulillah. Whereas for younger teens, having bonding activities based around Ramadan and Islamic knowledge, because they tend to feel less connected to the masjid from ages 12 to 16. So we can bring them together, inshallah.
Inshallah.
Yeah, so we have, definitely the young adults program that has their Tazkiyah Tuesdays. That's been, mashallah, an amazing program. It's been growing week to week. And I'm sure they have activities and events planned during Ramadan. So we can get with the committee chair, Abdul Aziz, to make sure that we know what their programming is so that we can promote it, and inshallah people are aware and can attend.
Inshallah. But I think this was, also this question was more centered to younger than YAP group ages, and making sure that there's more experiences that are available for them to do bonding and building brotherhood and sisterhood as we go into Ramadan. So, Jazakallah khair for that suggestion. Yes, please, go ahead.
So is the plan to have everything done through MCC or tally on other and promoting other channels? Because I know that, Yakima has a lot, Bayina has a lot, you have Nur Kids, so is it partnering with those people and maybe getting a QR code where we're paying less and having our kids working with them, engaging at home, or is it something that we're trying to start back again from the beginning where it already exists?
So I think we're open to both ideas. The idea of a partnership or trying to do like a group discount or encourage our collective community as a group, and then approach those different organizations for the programming that they do offer is not a bad idea. It's just a matter of coming collectively and working out the logistics for that. And I don't think anyone's opposed to that, and it's definitely an idea on the table. We also don't want to have to reinvent the wheel all the time, right? And there's a lot of resources, mashallah, now with the internet and online programming that's always going on. We want to tap into those things. So definitely open to those suggestions. At the same time, I will say, the masjid as a community and as a collective, we have to also stay grounded here as well and build our community bonds here. So there's benefit to both sides, and it's also just not necessarily striking a balance, but going, whatever khair we can get from, meaning good that we can get from whatever we can offer, we should take from, inshallah. So, let's see. Would you like to see dedicated spaces or activities for mothers with young children during Tarawih or other programs? Yes, Sister Khadi. And sisters, feel free to come join us up front. We want to be as engaging as possible, get to know you as well. Please join us.
So one thing that I think has not worked well is the fact that we have the basement for mothers and children. You'll always have, we always tend to have mothers who will bring their children in the main hall, and then others won't be able to concentrate. And even I remember one time, you know, we had people who were reciting who mentioned that sometimes it's difficult for them. So we should definitely think outside of the box and try to see what we can do, because the basement is not working always. Some people do it, some people don't. So what else can we do? And on the big nights, like the last 10 nights, can we even offer babysitting, even if it's paid babysitting, where the children have activities? Because it seems to be that's the only way where we can actually have the space. And everyone is welcome, all children are welcome. But when we have to do the last 10 nights and finish the Quran, it would be very important if we can get everybody to just participate more and help so that all the children can play, and then the parents can worship and pay attention to the recitations.
Jazakallah khair, sister, for that wonderful suggestion. As you know, our community is growing, alhamdulillah, and I feel like we've outgrown the space that we have. We typically are able to utilize the masjid field right here behind the masjid for salah as well. But again, with the coming cold months, we really need to sit down and think through how we can use our space wisely and to accommodate our families. I am a mother of 3 myself, and actually the idea for this town hall came, I will say, because I wanted to really engage with the sisters mainly, but also the brothers, but mainly with the sisters to make sure we have an opportunity to worship Allah and also have support with our families. So I guess the main thing that I would say as leadership, myself, this is my opinion, is that we have these needs in our community, and how can we best utilize the resources that we have right now? Definitely want to grow more space, right? And that's inshallah in the future. Allah allow that to happen with the expansion of our multi-purpose facility. But right now, if anyone has ideas in terms of how to best use flex space to accommodate families, I hear you on the offering childcare. I am aware that we do actually have childcare on a regular cadence during Ramadan. I think it was daily. I could be wrong. Okay, I'm seeing a no. But if that's not the case, that is the plan. We even would be willing to pay for having paid people, paid staff, be in a position to watch over the children, and an appropriate, caregiver to child ratio, inshallah. But these are the areas, I will say quite frankly, is the other part of why I wanted to engage was not just to get the feedback, but to also get support from our community, because we are a community center, and we're all here as volunteers trying to do good for our center. So that means when we come with ideas, we also come to the best of our ability with solutions, and be willing to execute to those solutions. That is the essence of a community center, really. And right now we have very few paid staff. As old as we are as a community, we have few paid staff, but that's not to say we can't create more paid positions. We definitely want to do that, because there's definitely a need in the community as well for that type of work. So it's just coming up with these ideas, coming up with the proposals, and definitely this board, I will say, alhamdulillah, is very open to new ideas, new changes, new suggestions, and really piloting some new programs to help our families. So alhamdulillah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to find the support we need to come up with these ideas and execute to them, because that is our intention, really. It's take the ideas and then put them into action. The feedback that we're getting today, I will say, we want to take the feedback to the committees, But in all honesty, the committees are so many heads, like, that are trying to drive the work, and they have a specific bandwidth. That's why we want to engage more of our community. Bring you guys and say, here's how, not here's how you can help, tell us how you can help, because we want to work towards your strengths, the things that you are passionate about, because when you're working behind those things, you'll feel like a sense of, I'm benefiting my community in a way that I feel is best in the manner that I have. So, and the capacity that I have. So, yes, Sister Gila.
I just had one short-term solution for the Ramadan because of the limited space in the winter. I don't know how costly it is to get, to set out like fake grass or whatever it's called, and tents and heated tents. People do that for all kinds of events. I don't know if we could afford it, but that might be a way to deal with the space in the cold months of Ramadan.
I think it's an idea that, Jazakallah khair, Sister Gila, that was an idea that has been put forth. I'm not sure what the decision was, or if there was a decision made yet. But it was definitely something that was brought up before. Inshallah, will be vetted. Okay, the next question on family and youth engagement. What role can youth play in organizing and leading Ramadan events at MCC? So again, what role can youth play in organizing and leading Ramadan events at MCC? Any areas of opportunity here? Yeah.
I have a suggestion as a participant. I think there's a lot of opportunities actually, because MCC, again, like I said at the beginning, as most masajids do, really comes to life during Ramadan. Mm-hmm. And what makes it, I think, comes to life is that spirit of like wanting to do something that is beneficial for your dunya and your akhirah. So like, for example, for the iftars, right? You have people serving, helping serve the food. You have cleanup activities. You have setup activities. That's a huge opportunity for everybody, including the youth. In the last 10 nights, there's a sahur. So these are kind of the less creative opportunities, but I think there's other opportunities as well to kind of include them in some of the programs. Like some of the things that we've done in the past is have like a Quran night within Ramadan. And so we'd have like students from Sunday school come and recite and kind of showcase their progress in learning Quran. So I think things along those lines could really be beneficial.
Sorry. One of my children needs some medical attention, so inshallah, we'll get her that. Okay. So the suggestion was to get the youth engaged in serving food, cleaning up, set up for suhoor, things like that. That's as far as I had heard. But if you can reiterate the other opportunities that you said.
No, I just mentioned how in the past we included them in like a Quran night where we'd had, had them students come and recite and showcase some of their progress and, highlight the Quran.
I remember that, yep. Okay. Any other ideas? Okay, so moving on, we have some, and I'll try to fly through a little bit because we have quite a few questions.
Real quick, I just want to make sure I acknowledge everybody in the chat. So there's a comment from a Cool Man X3D who is, I'll summarize their comment. I think they want us to promote kids getting their learner's permit early so that they can come to the masjid and attend salawat, and that would be helpful. I think we'll leave that decision up to the parents. But Ramadan's a good opportunity to make dua. If you want your driver's license early, you can always make sincere dua, and Allah accept from all of us.
In reference to the other question you just had, how can
Yes.
we have our youth in? The real question is, what do you guys need help with?
Oh, there's a laundry list.
Okay, so maybe we should start with the list and organizing the kids to work on that list.
Yeah.
I think we have the younger folks here, they need SSL hours. Why don't we use them toward it? At the end of the day, during Ramadan, we're exhausted. We
Yeah.
are tired.
Yeah.
We can't think right anymore. So I think it's more seeing the flaws and seeing how we can utilize those young ones to be here to get SSL hours, to pinch in and know that they're doing something right as well. Even with utilizing the rooms we have upstairs, I mentioned no kids. No kids usually runs right before we break the fast, but it should be something fun for kids to sit around in the room and watch. It is easier because you have your kids actually learning, and it is more passive for the adult who has been fasting all day. So I think we should just tally on those ones, maybe have a subscription, as I said, and if a kid is not participating, let's say if I'm not able to bring my kid in on Monday, but the kids now know that we're following this program, on Tuesday, on Wednesday, when they show up, they are still in it.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, and it's a 30 days, the whole Ramadan section. We should have the kids on it. We should run it maybe upstairs too, so the kids can view it. Of a certain age, I think up till 8 or 9, they're still engaged. And this is the population that's harder to maintain or to keep still in the masjid. The other one they can help with, let's say recycling is a good thing. Cleaning. They have time, they have small hands, but they are efficient and they're faster than we are. That's what they do at school.
Yeah.
That's what they do at school. They should be able to help us lay prayer mat properly, clean. So the real thing is knowing what the needs are, and maybe creating programs where we have the kids a month in advance, knowing the needs, wanting SSL hours, working with the parent. So we make sure that we're dropping them off, let's say, to help with iftar, because it is something they're going to do. And because there will be an adult overseeing them, making sure that they make it to Salah instead of making it to the basketball court,
Right.
which is another issue that we're having, and working as a team, because again, in a lot of cases, we're bringing the kids even on Saturday for that, for them to make friends here, and I think it will be the best way to do it.
Inshallah. Jazakallah khair, Sister Yassine.
One follow-up on this conversation from the chat from Sister Yasmin, who's our Family Engagement Committee Chair. Just clarifying that for SSL hours, I guess we have to be cognizant of how we apply them. I think we're not allowed to apply them to religious activities, but I think maybe we can get with her to kind of understand how to sort of separate the religious activities from the like the logistical masjid activities in Ramadan, and then we can tailor maybe a program and work with the high schoolers to make sure that they get their hours and the masjid gets what they need out of it, inshallah.
Inshallah. Yeah, I think there's a lot of flexibility. I think the stipulation around SSL hours not being given to religious activities doesn't necessarily exclude Ramadan activities as a whole in general. For example, if you did like something like packaging food and then doing distributions to a homeless shelter during Ramadan, that doesn't necessarily exclude it. So it's just a matter of thinking through, what those activities are and then coming up with a list. But definitely hear that there's a need from our youth to put together some more opportunities during that month, inshallah. Okay, we are 15 minutes or so, 16 minutes before Salah, if that clock is right. So, Brother Abdullah, how do you want, we have quite a few, sorry that? It's 109. 109, okay, so that clock is not right, okay. So then I'll continue with my questions until we reach till 1:15, and then inshallah if there's any other general comments we can close with that. Actually, before, I'd like to actually really engage with you guys and see if there's any opportunity for you guys to, anything that you feel passionately about and you want to help, kickstart for MCC. So I'll leave that till the end. All right. So cultural and social activities. I'll just run through the questions. So think about how we can reflect as a community the cultural diversity in our Ramadan events. How can we reflect the cultural diversity of our community in Ramadan events? Number 2, are there any specific ethnic traditions or foods you'd like to include in Ramadan programming? Are there and then number 3, would you attend cultural nights or events showcasing the diversity of Ramadan around the world? I'm seeing some nods. Okay. So Sister Shayna, who is the other sister on the board, she is our chair of the social committee, I believe. And she, mashallah, she's always looking for ways about how we can improve, because as you know, our community is very diverse. So if there's a way that we can improve, do let us know in terms of our Ramadan events, how we can make sure we include our diversity a little bit more, whether it be in the iftar foods or whatnot. If you have any ideas, do let us know. Inshallah. Okay, so I'm not hearing anything.
I was just going to quickly suggest, I know we already have nights that certain communities sponsor during Ramadan, but they're not really advertised, like the Bengali community, the Somali community, the Ethiopian community sponsor nights during Ramadan where they serve their ethnic food, and collectively as, ethnic communities prepare the food for that night, but it's not really advertised. It's by word of mouth, so if it can be publicized, maybe by email, WhatsApp, it would be one way to, strengthen that.
Okay. Typically, just so that others are aware, the iftar sponsorship is open for anyone who'd like to contribute. But we have communities within MCC that rally together and they fundraise to sponsor like a night, for example. What are some of the ones that more recently we've had? Somali night, Bengali night, yeah, those kind of things. So, so alhamdulillah, that's kind of been a grassroots effort. Yes, brother? Do you know how much a night costs? That's a good question.
Sorry, the question was, do we know how much a night costs? I can get that information for you. I know last year, I think a night was $2K for a weekday, and I think it was like $3K for a weekend. But those costs may have changed, so I can definitely get that information, inshallah.
Inshallah. All right. Yes.
If you sponsor a night, are you allowed to say who you would like to have the food made by?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think so. I mean, I don't think no, they haven't in the past?
No, last year I was, I was trying to sponsor refugee families and a family, and
so
I wasn't allowed to choose the cuisine, the nights that I sponsored.
Okay, that's something we can take back. Let's look into that. I wasn't aware.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, I wasn't aware either, and I can get back to you on that as well. It's because I know that for some of the cultural nights, for example, it wasn't necessarily like sponsored, it wasn't from a specific vendor, like families would do like a potluck style as well. So, well, inshallah we can get on that. I can get some information to see if that's something that interests you. Inshallah, I'll get you more information. No problem. Yep.
Okay. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. I didn't know. I assumed that they would be. So, okay. So more on the community iftars, we have some questions. Are MCC's community iftars accessible and enjoyable for your family? That's number one. Number two, how can we improve the organization of community iftars? Number three, would you prefer small themed iftars, for example, family nights, youth nights, or larger and more general ones? And then number four, what types of food would you like to see at the iftars? So, I know we kind of touched on this already. Just want to put forth some questions so that you can think more widely. Okay, if you think of anything, let us know. Moving on to charity and volunteerism. The first question is, how can MCC inspire more people to give generously during Ramadan? Number two, what charity initiatives should MCC prioritize this Ramadan? For example, food drives, zakat distribution. Number three, would you or your family be interested in volunteering for Ramadan events? And if so, what areas? And number four, how can MCC better involve the community in planning and executing Ramadan activities?
So for that last question, I was thinking, I know we have our various avenues electronically that we advertise, email, WhatsApp, social media. But if there's a printout, I know we have the calendar, but if the calendar maybe highlights certain events, or if there's a separate pamphlet or something highlighting the events, I think sometimes just having that paper pamphlet in the musalla when you're going in is another way to hit a lot more of the community and get word out for what we're doing.
Yeah, Jazakallah khair for that suggestion. Our goal is to have a calendar that summarizes the events planned for Ramadan. Inshallah, we're able to put that together so that it's a one-stop shop. Yeah. Okay. Okay, go ahead.
Sorry, there's just one thing that I'd like to help with that I also didn't mention earlier, but going back to even the point Sister Gilla mentioned about feeding the homeless with the extra food, I think as a community, if we're able to promote less waste, that would be huge, and I can definitely help with that. I had ideas in the past about putting just signs to remind people, even down to like, make sure we recycle what can be recycled and trash what can be trashed and not take more than, we can actually eat, things of that nature. So I can help with that.
I'll put you down for that, Shabnam. That's my sister. Okay. All right, so charity and volunteerism. The first question, how can MCC inspire more people to give generous? Oh, we did that already. Okay, alhamdulillah. So facilities and accessibility. Number one, are MCC's facilities sufficient to accommodate the Ramadan crowd? Yeah, we have more than one person here saying, okay, no, it's not. Okay, alhamdulillah. But alhamdulillah for what we have, yeah. Number two, what changes should MCC make to improve accessibility for seniors or those with disabilities during Ramadan events? Number three, do you have any suggestions for managing parking during busy Ramadan nights? I will say we have a very, very dedicated volunteer within our community that helps with the Jum'ah. And he comes from Fajr as well? Oh, he comes from Frederick. Yes, he does come from Frederick. Every Jum'ah to come out himself and help lead our parking efforts. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward him and his family and all the parking volunteers, because they do deal with a lot, not only during Jum'ah, but on our Tarawih nights and during Eid it is a lot of hard work in the background that's going on. And logistical planning, I will say, mashallah, there's a lot of thought process that is put forth to get to where we are. I did personally notice a drastic change last Eid when I came in very late for Eid Salah, but the way logistically that it worked, I was just able to slide into a spot and come right in because they worked their magic, alhamdulillah. Like, you know, it was very good, alhamdulillah. But if you have any suggestions around that, please let us know. The other question was, are there enough spaces for families and individuals to pray or participate in events comfortably? Yeah, so those are the facilities and accessibility questions that we had. So if you have any thoughts around that, please do think about it and let us know. I'm going to move on. So around health and wellness, we had some questions. Would you like to see fitness or health-related sessions during Ramadan? For example, tips for healthy fasting. And number 2, can MCC support those who may find fasting physically challenging, such as the elderly or people with health conditions? So how can we support those? Yes.
As a member of the Sisters Committee, Sister Yasmin Farakishal had actually done one pretty much every year. It wasn't, I mean, people attended, but not a ton. So there is something available. But maybe you can talk with her if she's going to do it this year. I'm not sure, but at least do something with that. Okay.
Her talk was specific to entering Ramadan, like from a healthy mindset.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, and food prep and wellness and hydration. Yeah, it's very good. Yeah, so there's already something there, but yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So alhamdulillah, we have something that Sister Yasmin worked on, mashallah, with the Sisters Committee. And it's probably more of making sure we're marketing some of these events a little bit better. The idea of the calendar would hopefully, you know, be that one-stop shop where everybody can see the different things that we're working on. But inshallah, we do have some ideas about how to better communicate, inshallah. So we're at 1:21. So what I'll do is I'll just end with this. Jazakumullahu khairan for your feedback. Yeah, we have a survey? Okay. Yeah, please, go ahead, Abdullah.
Okay, before we wrap up, I just wanted to say that thank you all for your contributions. Jazakumullah khair. We're definitely going to take everything that we got here and try to implement what we can. It's about a month and a half, which isn't really a lot of time. So we're going to do our best, inshallah, to implement as much as we can. But I just wanted to put something out there real quick. We're going to, inshallah, put together a survey that's going to have some of these questions so that we can make sure also the broader community is included as well. So if there's any lingering thoughts or anything comes up or you remember anything, just look out for that, inshallah, and put any recommendations there. And again, we'll do our best to include it in this year's planning, inshallah.
Yeah, and just to reiterate, the other main thing that I wanted to get out of today's session was not only the feedback, but to really pull in more engagement. So if there's anything that you personally feel passionately about and want to really kickstart or get involved with, please do come and see either myself or Brother Abdullah, because there's, like I said, a laundry list of things. We have these great ideas. It's more of just coming together and helping push them to execution, inshallah. So, all right, without further ado, Jazakumullahu khairan. Thank you so much for coming out today to today's session and engaging with us as your servant leaders, alhamdulillah. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless us all and be pleased with us and our community, and inshallah allow us to grow more and do more that He subhanahu wa ta'ala would be pleased with. Brother Abdullah, you want to end with Surah Asr?
Yeah, sure. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر جزاكم الله خير السلام عليكم
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.